Well, we're about a month and a half into the new year. Perhaps 2023 has already brought about big changes for you and yours. Folks who live in Maryland are currently in a transitional period when it comes to the state's changing marijuana laws. Now, in November's general election, Marylanders voted to legalize the drug. Full legalization, however, doesn't go into effect until July. So here to help us make sense of what that means is criminal defense attorney and former drug prosecutor. This is William R. Hall. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So first of all, this is a big deal. These take effect July 1st, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what does it mean? What's the law?
Well, it's interesting. The Maryland citizens overwhelmingly passed what we call decriminalization of the marijuana laws here in Maryland. And according to the law that passed, you can possess a fairly large amount of marijuana, and it also allows you to grow 2 plants for your personal use. Now, you can't sell those plants,
Sure,
but you can grow them outside or in your house. And the first thing that I thought of when they passed this law is, well, it still doesn't control federal law. We're talking about the state law, not federal.
Oh, okay. So if I go out and I go buy 2 plants or get 2 plants, I have them in my house, I'm still breaking a law?
Yes, you are. Under federal law, you're manufacturing marijuana, which is a major felony and can really get you into a lot of trouble. And I don't think most citizens understand that you might be okay at the state level, but it's still the federal level that controls. And I'm afraid that people are really going to get themselves in trouble.
Okay, so what happens? I mean, are the police going to be going by the federal law or the state law? I mean, how do I get arrested for this?
Well, that is a very good question, which no one has the answer to yet. So you're going to have different police agencies interpreting this law differently. So what the Maryland State Police might do, it's going to be completely different from, say, the city of Salisbury Police. So there's so many different police agencies here in Maryland that the law is not going to be interpreted the same. And as I used to say back in my drug prosecuting days, nobody is on the same sheet of music here. And you're going to see the law applied differently also in different jurisdictions. So for instance, what they do in Baltimore City is going to be completely different from what they do here on Maryland's Lower Eastern Shore.
Now, what if you're on, and like I go to Assateague, a federal park?
Yeah, and that's also very important to consider, that if you're on federal property, and a lot of people forget that Assateague is federal property, it's totally against the law to even possess a small amount of marijuana.
So are you hearing anything from law enforcement about this law?
A lot of frustration, quite frankly, because they really don't know what's going to happen. The legislature, as we're talking, they're still writing the rules on this. And again, there really is not a uniform approach. And also, I think you're going to see a lot of judges frustrated by this, because people don't realize that if you do smoke marijuana and it is in an automobile, that smell stays in that automobile. And right now, the law is, if that officer smells marijuana, that car's going to get searched. And if he smells the marijuana on the driver, that driver is going to be arrested for driving under the influence of drugs.
Oh my goodness, because there's no way to test them, is there?
There is no test that is, acceptable. Unlike a blood alcohol test, there are uniform standards for what under the influence is. So a lot of people get arrested for driving under the influence of marijuana. There's no real testing, and then it's left for the judge to determine whether or not somebody is guilty versus not guilty.
Should get interesting come July 1st. William R. Hall, attorney, thank you so much for the insight. Very important.
Thank you. It's an important thing for people to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks again.